Okay, guys, start again. The second round of the Sasha Bezrodnova. So the first time I'm making this little extension. Usually we conclude 1 hour, but it's been very interesting subject. So it's about to conclude. So just waiting now for her to join. Hello, Marek. Alles good. Clementine, salut. So a little bit more patience and Sasha will be joining us. Super. Cool. Yeah, it was a pity that the live got interrupted just by the moment things start to get interesting. Salut. No, there she is. Now it's connecting to Sasha. Okay, Sasha, we're back. Back on track. Are you there? Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I'm trying to deal with my video. It's now showing like the other side.
It's very windy here today. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
You see me?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you remember where you stopped?
We were speaking about bacteria and viruses, and then you said that it's not a moment to stop. So I'm curious, what's next? Like, what's if you have your curiosity, or maybe people who are listening to us, maybe they have their curiosity. I was speaking about that, like, two of the things that actually, let's say, make us unhealthy in terms of immunity is the stress. Like when we are like psychologically responding as a stress reaction, because that actually physically affects the work of our intestine, and it makes it permeable for bacteria and viruses, and it becomes that it doesn't protect us anymore. And the other thing is like eating junk food. That is also making it low. But also the other thing is the lymphatic system that is part of the immune system is something that actually works when we are moving, and it doesn't work when we are not moving. So I could speak a little bit more about this.
Yeah. We can open up a space if people have any question, if they're curious to hear. I can start that because I'm curious to hear your opinion about that. So if you're thinking about in terms of guidelines, safe guidelines for how people should face this pandemic. So it looks like according to what you're talking about, we are provoking exactly the opposite results, because people are at home. So if they're at the home, they are not moving. So if they're not moving, they are not activating the lymphatic system.
Yes,
and at home means that you start also to get a little bit more stress. And because of stress, you compromise your immune system somehow. And we get anxious, you start to eat more. And I don't know, I mean, it's a very general thing, but maybe there's a tendency for lots of people to start to overeat or eat not so good quality food. So somehow the foundations of what means to keep a good immune system, it's not really taken account by the big organizations who are handling this pandemic. And how do you?
Yeah, this is what I say. That kind of they take the ways of kind of protecting that are superficial. That kind of, okay, cover your mouth, but it actually doesn't really help to cover your mouth, because if you cover, you are still breathing with the same air. It just makes you like have more like humid environment around your mouth, and that's it. And actually the only way the mask really helps is that it helps you not to touch too much your mouth with your hands, because it's closed. because normally we are very like many people touch their face and their mouth with the hands unconsciously, like they are not aware of it. And mask makes you that, like, if you will suddenly touch your face, you'll have to take it off. So this is actually the only thing how the mask helps. With all the rest of things, it doesn't really help. And even the doctors now that are working in clinics, like they are all in these suits and so on, and they still get infected. Like it doesn't save them from this. And I have my friends. Yeah, so even with the shields, like it just doesn't work. And I have a friend, like one of I wouldn't say it's a friend of mine. We're not close friends, but it's like a contact dancer from Kaliningrad. And he's like in his profession, he's a doctor, and now he went to work in a clinic with coronavirus infected people. And he's like subscribed a contract that he will work there until all this situation ends. And he's reporting in his Instagram like what's happening there and what's happening in the hospital and how the doctors work. And he also got infected, and he also passed this disease. And all these shields didn't really help. And there are already many doctors that also died from this, just because they were working with the patients, and even though they were kind of protected, they're not really. Yeah, so I think this is the thing, that you cannot actually protect yourself in this way. Like there is no shield that will protect you unless you are just really, really away from the people who are infected. And yeah, so maybe the only thing what we can actually like what we are able to change is how we are with our body, and how our body is like prone to getting some disease, this or some other disease or not. And this is, yes, working with our immune system that, as you said, it involves all of our body and involves many, many things. So I would like really to speak about this, like you actually named like those things that are actually opposite to what would be good to have, that we have not to move because we are enclosed, that we are in stress, and that we are overeating, like many people are overeating just because this is their way of relieve their panic. Like if they're panicking, they eat, and then they kind of get more numb for some time. Or like sometimes when we're panicking, we don't know what to do, so we start eating because it's something that we kind of know how to do. You know, this thing of yeah, like it's also like procrastination. There is, because procrastination is also actually a very animal mechanism. All the animals have procrastination. It's like when you don't know what to do something that definitely works. Like if you don't know if you will have success in doing what you want to do, better do something in what you will definitely have success. Like, for example, clean your plums or look for food. Because if you eat, you succeed. There is no way not to succeed when you eat. It's definitely a successful action. So it calms you down just because you are doing something that is simple, clear, you know how to do it, and it works. So with this, we save ourselves from situations that have like high unpredictability, like high level of ambiguity. And also, there is this thing that when we are in panic, normally we don't breathe. We don't really breathe deep because our belly is contracted. So if we're in stress or in panic and we're worrying, our belly is contracted and we can't really breathe. And this sensation is unpleasant. Like this state of body is unpleasant. And when we eat, when we put many things into our belly, finally we cannot hold the belly anymore, and the belly relaxes, and then we can breathe. And unconsciously, we choose this way to make ourselves finally relax. And when we relax and breathe, then our heart rate also slows down. Because what helps is that like our breathing and our heart rate are very interconnected. So we can calm ourselves by calming our breath, and then our heart calms down. So sometimes people say, I need to ground myself, I need to eat. But actually what it means is like I need to calm myself down, And unconsciously, somehow, even if they don't understand the mechanism, but actually they use this mechanism that if I put many things into my belly, then I relax my belly, then I can breathe more fully, then my heart will slow down, then my nervous system will calm down. But actually, we can do it even without eating. We can just start breathing slowly, and we can just consciously relax our belly and start breathing with the belly, without needing to put many things into the belly to make it finally get tired
Yeah.
of being tense. So this is like one of the practical things that I think, like, if we know about it, we can also, like, it's not enough to know it, because some, like, many things we know or we've learned from some master classes or from the books, but if you don't practice it when you are fine, then in the moment of stress you will not remember it, because in the moment of stress our memory doesn't really work, and we start doing the things that we did in the similar level of stress previously. And if previously in the similar level of stress we were doing just something, we will keep doing just something. Yeah, so if we want to, like, this knowledge to help us, then we have to practice this and make it a habit. It means, like, that if you want to, like, in the stress, to notice your breathing and go back to your breathing and calm it down and then calm down your heart, you have to learn it while you are okay, not waiting for the stress to come. Like when you are brushing your teeth or when you are entering your house, like, you can choose some moments of the day that are repetitive, that will remind you of noticing your breathing and calm it down, like, or noticing your belly and relax your belly. For example, each time you pass through a door, or each time your mobile rings or a message comes, instead of answering straight ahead, you just first take time, hey, maybe to make a sound, maybe just to make inhale and exhale, to notice how now is your belly, is it contracted? Could you make it become bigger, become more relaxed? And then gradually, if you do it every day, then it becomes a habit, then it rewires your brain, and then your brain will use this habit for other situations as well. So, like, this is one of the good practices, and I would also say that there are things that actually block us from relaxing our belly. Most of the people think that the belly should look like absent. The belly have to be like this, because in the magazines, when they show you, like, pictures of people, they all don't have belly. Like, beautiful models don't have belly. But actually, if you take your belly in all the time, then you cannot breathe, then you will be in stress all the time, because it's all related. So this thing of, like, to let go of this kind of artificial beauty and to face that actually a calm, peaceful person would have a relaxed belly. Even if this relaxed belly looks bigger, this is fine, but this is actually healthy for you. Like, if you want your belly to be smaller, just make sports, eat less, and, like, make some exercises. But just trying to take your belly in all the time and to tense your belly, it's not really training your muscles. So it's different. Better just relax and be peaceful and be healthy instead of tensing your belly.
You
I
know,
think
Sasha,
this is a good point. Yeah.
you remind me Tai Chi teacher I had in Brazil many years ago. And he was focusing on this belly breathing through the belly. And the people complained about the appearance of this little belly. And he was wondering, asking people, what do you want? Do you want to have a six-pack belly, or you want to have a little belly, more chi, more energy?
Yeah.
So this is, it's a little curious thing, how the image that the stereotype we see in society, it can completely shape our behaviors and not allow what is very natural to become part of our functionality. We try to adapt functionality into a certain image in order to be accepted, in order to be part of the mainstream, in order to be loved or whatever. It's very, very, very complex. But you just don't listen to the body, how the body how it is naturally, how it should function. And I think this is a good example of everything that you have illustrated now. All these little practice that we could just cultivate on daily basis, which is just part of our nature, and how far we have gone from this thing, how much we're now so much shaped and molded certain ideas, and there, it seems like there's a big discrepancy between those ideas that we sort of somehow are engulfed in that envelope, and how much we are missing to reconnect to the body and allow the body to dictate, to guide us, to have this trust for the body, to also to pave the way for us to especially now in this pandemic, because you said beautiful guidelines. I think one thing doesn't exclude the other one. There's a general guidelines for on the pandemic level that I don't want to discuss that. I have lots of questions, but if people want to close the borders, they want to put in quarantine, I think it's a big deal. But what we can do under our reach is to cultivate our immune system with the little habits, and there's not much speech about that. This doesn't go to the mainstream. What goes to the mainstream is a kind of information that somehow feeds much more the fear-mongering place, where people end up actually doing the opposite, end up creating situations that we become more vulnerable. So it feels like something fundamentally missing in this relationship to health, to on the individual level, also on the community level. I feel it. And I wonder if you are involved in groups that you are sharing this information online with certain people, and how it's been how it's been the response.
Well, I just wanted to try not to forget to say about things like this, and now I realize that it's actually a good moment to say about things like this. But before, I don't know what to say before, because like I want to say this about the sharing this information, but maybe one little more things I would say about to the body, as you said, because like just listening to the body, okay, it's a nice concept for those who know what is listening and who know what is body and who know what is listening to the body, like people of our environment, let's say. And some people, they don't really understand why to listen to the body and what the hell it is. So I just would like maybe to point a little bit this topic, like why to listen to the body and how it is related to this panic, to this pandemic panic. Is that like our stress response is many times appears because we feel helpless. Like when some situation is happening, but I know I can solve it, then I don't feel helpless, then it doesn't bring me to a big stress. Something happened and I just manage with it, and then it's done, and then it's ended, it's finished. But sometimes something happens, like I get the information from, I don't know, from internet, so many people died from this virus, or an airplane crashed, or something else. And normally the news are like saying what bad is happening in the world. And most of the things that are happening in the world, I have no control of it. Like there's nothing I can change. So it's not something I can solve. And so I'm getting this information and I feel helpless. And then I'm getting more information that something is bad, and again I feel helpless. And our brain is built in a way that it all the time wants to solve problems. Like when it hears problems, it tries to solve them. And if I realize I cannot solve them, then I'm in stress. Then I'm in panic. And then we know that when we're in stress, our immune system drops down. So this is like a big danger that we are having all the time, like getting information that makes us feel helpless, even if we are not aware of it. And this brings us to our stress response, and this stress response is the response of all the body that is actually disempowered by it, and the immune system that is disempowered by it. So when we say listening to the body, It's not just something to like feel myself better, because sometimes when we start listening to the body, it's not that we really feel better. Sometimes we start feeling all the pains that we have in our body, and we start listening, start noticing all the sensations that, actually I'm sitting not very comfortably, or actually something else and something else is like not very comfortable. So, but if I learn to perceive not only the information from outside, like people tell me, or what the news tell me, or what's there in internet, but if I also learn to perceive information from inside, then I can get a lot of information that's actually supportive, that is not making me feeling helpless. Because, for example, like if I hear that something bad is happening in the world, and I don't hear that there is support for me in this, but if I listen to my body, if I learn to tune, for example, to the sensation of gravity, or to the sensation that actually even now when I'm sitting, I'm constantly getting support from the down, like from the earth, then my brain, my mind starts receiving the information about support. And then it is nourished with information about support. And then it calms down because it knows that the world is not falling apart, that there is still something that is constantly supporting me. And these simple things that people normally are not aware of, if we don't pay attention on them, they don't work for us. Like the gravity is always there. The earth is always supporting me. But while my attention is not on it, I'm not perceiving it, and then my brain is not taking it in count, and then it doesn't help me. But if I withdraw my attention from internet, and I put my attention into my connection with the ground, into my connection with the chair, or if I'm walking, I put my attention into where my weight meets the earth, where my feet touch the earth, and I feel the response of the earth. So I can literally be nourished, and I can be fed, and I can be calmed down by this feeling of support, by some information that is positive. And then I don't feel helpless anymore. I actually feel supported. So this is a very, very important thing. If we train our attention to get information from the body and from earth, we actually can shift our state to a state that is not a stress response, to a state that is more peaceful, grounded, and confident, self-confident. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to bring. Like for me, like this is maybe the most important thing I can share. I'm calling it self-information, like that I'm self-informing. I'm not just being fed with this, I don't know, Facebook feedback page, but I'm also fed with my own sensations. I choose from where to take information, and I'm informing myself with the sensation of my body. I let my organs tell me how they feel. I let my muscles tell me how they feel, and my ligaments and all my fascia. And if I really go into like somatic experiencing of my body, then I learn many things, and it's much more interesting than on internet, because it's like also a whole world of news that actually are relevant for me, because all these numbers of people that are infected yesterday and now it's in the web, it's not actually bringing me information that is useful. But all my information is something with what I can really deal, and it's something that is like really helpful if I inform myself with it. So you asked me if I did
you hear
like
noise here?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I don't hear a noise.
Yeah,
sometimes I did hear a noise, but while I'm speaking, your sound is not really getting here. If I stop speaking, I hear it. So, like you asked me if I share something of this information. I lately I made few live streams, but they were in Russian. Actually, speaking about self-informing, and also giving hints how we can tune to our body when we don't have much space. For example, if we are in isolation in the city, in the flat, and we don't have much room, we cannot like run and dance and jump. But still, there are simple things that we can make to help ourselves have more sensations in our body, like perceive more sensations from our body, to feel more alive. And one of the things is slapping. Like if you take your body and you literally slap yourself, this is super helpful. Or you like squeeze yourself, but this is something that is better to do like when some other person does it for you. So I was explaining this. Like these videos are still available, they are in my YouTube channel, and that is called Tela Moj Dom, like Body My Home. But the thing that I can share with like English speakers is that like beside that, when I gave these live streams and I explained to people how to be self-informed, so I gave like these practices. It's actually not finished, this series of live streams. So it's shaking. Shaking is something that gives you lots of sensations into the body. Then slapping and humming. Like I still didn't make the live stream on humming, but on shaking, it was like 2 live streams of 2 hours, just explaining why the shaking is useful, how it works, how it helps us. And then after explaining this, I realized that it would be good to make not video, but like audio guidelines for people if they want to shake and they want to point their, like to put their attention in the body and to receive lots of information. So I did, it's already there, like 6 series of 1 hour of guidelines for shaking. And there I speak 2 languages, Russian and English. Okay. So it's like, it's suitable almost for every one of my friends. And they are available. I made just a Google document that I'm sharing, and in this Google document there are links for all these guidelines. You can just download them and put your like loudspeaker or earphones and just make a session of shaking. That is like not just shaking, but we point attention. So it's like somatic experiencing of the body, learning from our body while shaking. And now I'm receiving like lots of gratitude. Some people just write to me saying, Sasha, could I pass you some donation because I'm so happy, it's working so well, what you did. So I'm actually really happy people are really using it, and also they are really using it like it helps when you don't have much space. Like if you cannot run, but you can shake. For shaking, you need just a place where you can stay, like you don't need much space. and it actually like really works. So I'm thinking maybe while we're speaking, I could pass a link just here, or I could also pass you a link and then you upload it somewhere so people just could download this.
I need to share this in the IGTV. You can a link here if you want. You also can share the link when you share this video on the IGTV. Okay. Both ways are fine.
It doesn't work. Like I disappear if I come out.
My battery is running low. I think it's a sign that you should slowly approach some sort of conclusion, wrapping around.
Okay. So I will send you the link after we finish, okay? And you share the link.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
You have a last message you'd like to share with people?
Last message that I would like to share with people.
Apart from shaking.
Yeah, maybe I would say, like, what is the most important thing, maybe what I want to share, is that I think that I'm so happy that we are in the same planet, so we can meet and chat and share and have time with each other. And it's so precious that we could meet here. It's a place where we meet. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying for others, but for me it's such a present that I'm here, and on this planet we have our human bodies, so we can see each other, touch each other, and meet each other, or sometimes just speak and share. So I'm so happy that we can meet, and I think it's so precious. And when it's so precious, it doesn't it doesn't make sense to fight or to I don't know, or to get offended, or like to underestimate each other. It's just such a happiness that we can be together. So thinking of immune system, what is supportive for it is having good relationship, is having like good, meaningful relationship. This is what actually supporting the health of people, and this is actually what the science confirms, that even people like with cancer or like any very hard diseases that are in the hospital, those who survive mostly is the people who have good, meaningful relationship, who have somebody for whom it makes sense to live. If they don't, they normally don't survive. So if you think of supporting your health, you can go like straight ahead into this health, body, matter, and so on. Or you can just think like why to live. Maybe sometimes people stop living just because they don't have this why to live. And if you have for whom to live, if you are actually happy with someone, then you will want to stay, and then your body will support you to stay and to still have some time together and to have some fun together. So yeah, I think this is also another thing on what it's good to point attention is like how I do really support relationships, support the other, and how can I be nourished by being with the other? Because sometimes we are with the others, but we don't really let ourselves be nourished. We become busy with something else. Like, okay, these are my kids, I love them, but I'm so busy because I need to feed them, so I need to work, so I focus on working. But actually, to support them, maybe the best way is just to express my love, and maybe also to let myself feel their love. Maybe for this I need to stop and just to perceive and just to play with them. While working, I'm not perceiving it, and then I'm not nourished. And if I'm not nourished, but I still want to be nourished, so I will go for food or for something else to make myself nourished. But actually, maybe we can nourish from our relationship, from being with each other, from playing, from singing together. And then we live a happier and healthy life, and this is something that cannot be taken from us by any governments that are like making restrictions and so on, because like now people are singing even online or dancing online. So nothing can stop you from dancing and singing and like sharing things with each other, even if you are not in the same room. So yes, I'm thinking about relationship and about us being together.
Thank you, Sasha. For the moment, I'm very happy to be nourished by such lives on Instagram as well as on Zoom. However, honestly speaking, I'm longing, I'm missing to touch another human being. It's been over 3 months. And I don't know if you would be happy for a long period of time in this kind of isolation.
Yeah, I understand you.
It's, you can make a sacrifice.
Touching is super important. Yeah.
Yeah. But I look forward to being together with you again on land and in the water. Who knows, in Turkey, in the ocean dance.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Like, I don't know when I will come back. I don't think that it makes sense for me to come back to Russia, but I really want to go to Turkey if the borders will be open in September for the ocean dance retreat.
Yeah, let's wait and see. I cross my fingers. I'm also cultivating this patience. It's not easy, but it's the ability we need to develop for now. I feel it.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much for this talk. I'm very happy to talk.
Not a big surprise, but it was nice because we know as a friends, we talk a lot. But now I see you approaching subjects in a certain depth that was the first time at least for me, the first time I see you exposing, sharing in this way. And I love it. For me, it was very beautiful to get to know you in this way. So, and thank you very much for giving your time, for being so generous in sharing all your knowledge, your life experiences. I really appreciate it, Sasha.
Thank you, Bronchik. And good luck. Благодарю. Пока-пока. I will send you the link. We'll send you the link now.
Yeah, we send me the link, and I can add the links when you share this ITTV, as well as on the media. Yes.
Will you put in YouTube as well?
You're gonna put probably in YouTube and Facebook.
Good. Okay. See you. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao to everyone who was listening to us.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, fantastic.